Good morning, Awoken. Happy Friday, happy Purple Friday. We are out here today, once again in Washington, D.C. Some big news overnight, or excuse me, yesterday afternoon. You just want to fix that real quick. There we go, bro. Wonderful. Some big news yesterday afternoon. We see the Attorney General of the United States, Pamela Bondi, is the second member of the cabinet to go in as many weeks. The second high-profile departure from the official cabinet. First was Kristi Noem. Next is Pamela Bondi. So we're going to be discussing her departure from the cabinet this morning. Additionally, it is day 35 of the Iran war, and you know what that means. Every time we get a touchdown style number and the day number of the Iran war, that means that night or the next day is Saturday, and there's always potential for major movement with the conflict. Many are speculating Karg Island is the play to try to seize key Iranian energy infrastructure. So we're going to be talking about that today on the stream. We're starting out at the U.S. Capitol, right behind me. We will be walking towards the DOJ, the former workplace of former Attorney General Pam Bondi, for the second half of the stream. So very excited to be with you today. Happy to hang out with you. Got a couple of comments already. Sam says, hi, bro. What's up? Good morning, Sam. Thank you for tuning into the stream this morning. Glad to have you here. And at Ronwin Nance says, looking sharp. Happy Purple Friday. Thank you, Ronwin. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the stream. Happy to talk Pam Bondi and Karg Island, Iran War Day 35 with you as well. But we're going to be hanging out, taking your questions, discussing the shakeup in the Trump administration's cabinet, the second major high-profile firing of a member of the cabinet in as many weeks. So we're going to be talking all about that today. We're starting out the stream at the U.S. Capitol, but we'll be finishing the stream near the DOJ, Pam Bondi's former place of work. She has said she will return to the private sector to help the president's legal defense team in that capacity. But there was no direct, unlike Kristi Noem. We know Kristi Noem went to a specific department. We don't know where Pam Bondi will be next. So yeah, happy to have you guys here. Just want to remind you, if it's your first time on the live stream, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel so you can join future emergency break-in streams. So we had two streams yesterday. We had an emergency stream. I was able to be on with you guys for about 40 minutes yesterday afternoon. Had to go grab some pizza from the Domino's in Navy Yard. So we were with you for about 40 minutes there. We discussed, did some emergency breaking news coverage of Pam Bondi being fired. So, and yesterday morning, we were out here at the Capitol once again, hanging out, taking your questions, discussing a wide variety of topics as well. Had a lot of new people on the stream yesterday, so. Okay, Adam says, bro, can you send me $1 million? Could you buy me a Corvette and ship it to Australia for me? Maybe, bro. If you can send me the money, I'll send you the car. Here, let's get a solid poll question on the board for you guys to nibble on. All right, let's make this the poll question for today. Are you glad or sad that Pam Bondi was fired as the Attorney General, the nation's chief law enforcement executive officer? Shambles says, hello, brokies. Pretty please, I'll vouch for United States made cars in Australia, or you could send me. Man, yeah, these Sunnies are quite popular, man. They're always getting attention, always getting compliments. So I don't know if I can ever part ways with the Versace's. Maybe if you subscribe to the channel, then we can discuss the next steps. Rad says, hi, I'm Satha from India. I'm 24 years old. Any suggestions on relationships? Just put yourself in social situations. You're not going to meet anybody at home, or if you're just cooped inside your residence all the time, you have to go, you have to put yourself out there and meet people and just talk to people. And that's the first step. Just get reps and talking to people. That's all you need to do. Just think of it as a coworker or a friend at school or college or higher education. So that would be my best advice, is that just put yourself out there, talk to people, and make sure every interaction is outcome independent, that whatever happens at the result doesn't really impact, right? You're just there to have a conversation with another human being. So that would be my advice to you. Let's see. Parker, good morning, Parker. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. What about Aviator? Aviators are cool as well. And David Moore, 7,110 says, good morning. Good morning, David. Happy to have you on the stream this morning. Glad that you are here. Yeah, man, are you doing more flooring today? Shambles says, well, we sell rare and can make you more money than this guy. Adam says this guy's a stud. Wall Street. Yeah, Wall Street's a few hours away. We are in the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C. This is the legislative body for the United States, the elected national federal legislative body for the, excuse me for that belt, for the United States Congress, the federal government. Patan has a couple emojis. Drift says, I love Trump, I love Israel, and I love Ukraine. It says, happy Good Friday. Happy Easter, everyone. Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Hope you have a blessed and safe holiday. Please stay safe. Enjoy time with loved ones if you're able to congregate with individuals. Chris says, why does a New Jersey-sized country have more influence than China and India over the U.S.? Yeah, that's a question a lot of people are asking. Adam says, love you all. Love you too, Adam. Thank you for tuning into the stream. And Sam says, happy Friday to the whole Nance family. Thank you very much. I'll relay the message to my family. Yeah, no problem. Always happy. Yeah, it's ask anything. It can be, we talk politics on the channel, but also happy to help people in other situations as well. Sean says, I'm not sure how to think about Pam Bondi's firing. Yeah, it wasn't particularly shocking in my view. I think that the writing was on the wall for her a little bit. We saw this with Kristi Noem. It looked like Kristi Noem was toast for a period of time. And eventually the axe just kind of came down. Same with Pam Bondi. Trump, let alone the American people, Pam Bondi was not a particularly popular or admired member of the cabinet from the American people by any means. So I think it was just a matter of time. I think Trump is wanting to space these out. I'm not sure if anyone else will go in the future, but I think, yeah, you have people like Kash Patel that look like he's on the hot seat, Tulsi Gabbard with their stance on the Iran war. And I've been hearing rumblings of Lori Chavez DeRaymer, I think she's the labor secretary. I've heard that she might be on the hot seat as well. So, yeah, we're just going to have to keep a track on those 3 other cabinet members. So let's see, David, or ransomware. I do have a question. My source is telling me that we might be going on a energy lockdown. I haven't heard that yet, but tell me some other information that your buddy might know. I haven't heard of that yet. And Duck says no one liked her. Yeah, especially after the fumbling of the Epstein situation, I think really put her in the casket for sure. She was not able to, she never really recovered politically or even on a, what's the proper verbiage? On a political and not only popularity, but credibility trust level. Once Pam Bondi said the files did not exist, when she said they did a couple months ago, that sealed her fate. And this was just she was a dead woman walking for the past several months in the cabinet. David says, should Rand Paul become Attorney General? He has too much beef, personal beef with the president. He will not, the president would never nominate Rand Paul. I know people that work for Rand Paul in the Senate, and Rand Paul doesn't vote with the Republican conference enough or has a strong enough relationship with the president of the United States to ever be considered for a cabinet position. Even though he might make a solid, if your question is like maybe would he make a solid cabinet, I think he would. But he doesn't have the votes or the support from the admin for that. Parker says, so since she got fired, are they going to release more? I think that's one of the next things we're going to have to pay attention to is now the Epstein files situation will change hands. It's not, it was under only Pam Bondi, but now Todd Blanche is in the mix as well. The interim emergency replacement fella, the Deputy Attorney General. Capitol Police were yelling at somebody. Here, let's see. But yeah, so there's still supposedly 3 million files outstanding. So we're just going to have to kind of see what the next steps is for there. That would be something good. I'm sure Democrats will ask about that during the next person's confirmation hearing for sure. What's up, dog? What's going on, man? Yeah, thanks. So yeah, purple, man. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. And Duck says exactly. David Moore says supposedly because of the oil not going through the Strait of Hormuz, it's causing a lot of problems in Japan and other southern Asian countries. Yeah, so we know China gets about 40% of the oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Japan, India, South Korea, and a lot of these Asian, Eastern Asian countries in particular get a lot of their oil through the Strait. And if Iran just keeps that closed, or even, it doesn't even have to remain closed. Iran, they're having that $2 million levy per cargo ship that exits the Strait of Hormuz, and that's quite expensive just for oil, and you're still paying the regular price, right? So I think maybe in those countries, but in the United States, I wouldn't be worried because we don't get. We're being impacted through the Strait of Hormuz situation is because of the supply and demand globally. We don't get much of our oil through the Strait of Hormuz. That's Western Asia, that's Middle Eastern nations. We feel the shockdown effect, the ramifications through it being more expensive all over the globe, and there being less demand, less supply, and the similar demand for oil all over Earth. But we don't really rely on the Strait of Hormuz. So our oil intake is minimal impact. But the allies, though, that you mentioned do in particular. Nurse Rod says, good morning, Nurse Rod. Rand Paul wouldn't accept any position with them. Good point, too. Yeah, even let's say he was in good standing with the Senate GOP conference and the president, he might not even want to do it in the first place. Drifting Soul says, would spill the beans. Army Chief of Staff fired. What's going on? I did see that. I didn't get a chance to read much into it yesterday evening, but I did see that those two generals were fired yesterday evening. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about it. Maybe it could be a messaging or an internal disagreement that the two sides or the parties just could not agree upon, and that's why they were fired. Shamble says, part of the World Economic Forum. Parker says, we only received 2% of the files. There are missing and multiple terabytes of information missing. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what I said, John. I said we're still impacted because there's still the same level of demand for all of the oil. Just we don't get our oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So we're not impacted in the terms of the amount we have, but we still feel the ramifications and the shockdown effect of it because of globally there's just simply less oil. That's why we released the sanctions on Iranian oil that had already left the country, because we want there to be as much supply of oil globally. So we actually agree on that. Maybe you just didn't hear the first part of my answer a couple minutes ago. Beach says, keep making me rich. And Roger Mitchell says, hello. Hi, Roger. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. And Lola says, hi as well. Hello, Lola. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning. We are here in the U.S. Capitol, right outside the Capitol building, taking your questions. Let's see if I've missed any questions. And then HG Bud says, Trump effed up. Parker says, gas here is now almost $4 a gallon. I'm not buying gas if it gets any higher. And then 3169 says, I look like James Fishback. Yeah, we're both young fellas. He was actually here. He did his speech opposing the Iran war in front of the U.S. Capitol probably 2 weeks ago, and we did live coverage of that. I got a couple of clips out as well, so if you go to my profile, you can go to the Shorts button and tab and check those out. You can also go back in the live stream tab Actually, on those shorts, it should have a button where it will directly link you to the original video. All right, so we're at 45 votes already, and a strong majority of you guys are glad that Pam Bondi was booted out from the Attorney General's office. Yeah, and let's just talk about Pam Bondi's loyalty to the president here. She verbally and publicly represented him in the first impeachment hearing, I believe, in what, 2020, early 2020. She has been a staunch Trump advocate and supporter for several years. Has also, served in the admin right this time. Was pretty well, did everything that he told her to do, and at the end of the day, it still ultimately could not save her. So, but yeah, still very loyal individual to the Trump admin. And now we see that she is no longer. She said in her statement that she will be going to the private sector, and we don't know really any additional details other than that. So we're going to be kind of keeping track of what Miss Bondi does in the next few days, next couple of weeks even. And it says, so B9B says, I look like Richard, not sure how to pronounce that last name. And then it's all so confusing. Then William says prices going up was a given. That was part of the plan. This too will pass soon. Oh, like oil and gas prices, you mean, William? And then Whisper says, we want Pam Bondi in jail. Why do you advocate for her imprisonment? Hey, everybody, just want to drop a little reminder if you're new to the stream, if it's your first time hanging out with us on the stream, please leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button. We host conversations such as this one several days during the week, several weekdays, also on the weekend sometimes even. We did an emergency episode yesterday afternoon. I was able to catch you guys for about 40 minutes. Just did an emergency breaking news live reaction to Pam Bondi's departure or firing from the Attorney General's office. So a lot of crazy stuff happening, and we are still at Iran War Day 35 as well. So we're entering. We're leaving the fourth full week. Well, I guess tomorrow would be the beginning of week 6, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Sam says, people speculating Chief of Staff ground Randy George was not in favor of a ground invasion in Iran. That could make sense. Yeah, that would be a plausible explanation, is that there was just a disagreement that couldn't be it could not be seen the other way. It was a imperative that the person in that position would align with the admin's view. And he clearly said, I don't agree, or maybe I don't agree, and I'm not going to resign, so you're going to have to fire me. And that's ultimately what happened, I believe. Or could. That's a theory. It always could be for something else, but that could make sense, though, that this is something that everyone has to be on the same page on. And if there's dissent within the admin, that could be a problem. And Vanilla says, what did Pam Bondi do? So I think a couple of things. You have a few, we see notably the Epstein files, right? The Epstein files debacle. I think that was the beginning of the end for Pam Bondi. And as well, in the hearing a couple of months ago with Thomas Massey, we covered that on the show. To what she was like at the Senate Judiciary or the House Judiciary Committee hearing. She was like, "Why are we talking about the Epstein files? The Dow is above 50,000 or whatever." I think that was also she had nowhere to go, because if she went the other way, she would have been crossing Trump and the admin. So she was cornered, and just the way that Trump let it play out, that led to her downfall, I think. I think that's, and publicly it just got too, it got way too toxic. She was too unpopular among the general public and within the admin too. And it was causing so many more donors, like people would call and say, "Hey, what's this Pam Bondi person doing?" Kind of like with Kristi Noem, with her allegations about the affair with Corey Lewandowski, and now you have the cross-dressing situation with the husband. It's just too much for the admin. This time has tried to be less drama-free than the first admin, right? We saw people like Rex Tillerson be fired almost immediately last time. Most everyone was fired at some point. One of the only people that I can think of that made it all the way last time was like Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary. This time we're 14, 15, 16 months in, and she's only the second member of the cabinet, and I'd argue the third major well-known figure to depart the admin. Bondi, Noem, and Dan Bongino, those three guys. Bongino, not officially a cabinet member, but still someone well-known. Deputy Director of the FBI. Okay. Yeah, I talked a lot gave a long answer there, so probably missed some comments. Junior says, okay, this isn't the White House, this is the U.S. Capitol building. So we are right outside this is the legislative branch of the United States of America. The White House building, the executive branch, is probably a mile and a half or so catty corner this way, maybe more like this way. That's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Can't she be charged with treason? Potentially. Bear says, hi, hello, Bear. Thank you for joining the stream. Good morning, brother. Primal Screams says, why are we pretending this whole thing isn't a disaster? All of this is self-own. DA says, what is to stop drone attacks at the Capitol could happen. Remember, Biden let in 25 million. David Moore says, what about the water reserves? They're going after them. Yeah, so if the salidation plants are targeted in Iran, then Iran will immediately target salidation plants in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, even, and that's a mutually assured destruction thing. We're talking about in a month, we'd see millions of people just die, simply. Let's see. Sam says, or here, I'll just try to quickly go through them. Couldn't they're shit canning in general? Couldn't the U.S. just ease everyone's debt and let everyone get rich together? Yeah, man, in a perfect world. David Crawley says it's not what Pam Bondi did, rather what she didn't do that made people want her fired. I think that's a fair observation. People get rich from your debt, so no. How do you view Thomas Massey? Big fan. I've actually, I have a photo image with him. I took a photo with him, so at a happy hour a couple of months ago. How old am I? I'm 26 years old. Yeah, that's how old I am. Welcome to the United States. If you find a way to make money, we'll find a way to tax you. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Imagine firing all these war generals at the start of a war. I'm doing well, Junior. Thank you for asking. 578 or Saibu, don't care about Pam Bondi. Bondi has a nice pair of ears. Sam, message retracted. Yep, we're at the Capitol, Junior. Dr. Triple A says, how do you look so good, man? Keep up the good work. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man, we're out here grinding every day. Got Purple Friday, baby. It is purple, our favorite color of the channel on this channel. Sam says, breaking news, U.S. confirms rescue operation after a jet shot down over Iran. People saying maybe a F-35 or F-15E. Iran says at least one soldier captured and puts a bounty on another. Nation, the war is still going. Yeah, removes the salt, and that's a war crime. And Descartes 7 says tax the rich, feed the poor until there are no rich, no poor. And then Junior says, yeah, very good color. Thank you, brother. Yeah, we love, yeah, dude, purple is the motto on the channel. MH2731 says, LOL, Pam was absolutely shocking. Like, how did she even get that job? And Sam says the Wall Street Journal confirms that news as of right now. Wow, that's pretty big. So that's, if Iran does have a service member, then that's a bargaining chip for the regime. Here, Iran, yeah, one soldier captured. So that's a big shift, actually. So there hasn't, the last couple of weeks, there really hasn't been major changes with the Iran war, if that makes sense. And what do I mean by that? It's not like that every day isn't still hugely important or historically important. It also has to do with, it's turned into a war of attrition. It's a asymmetrical warfare. The Iranians know they can't defeat the U.S. in traditional military tactics, so they're going after the Gulf countries' energy, their oil. Iran has a lot of cheap missiles and a lot of cheap drones that they continuously can fire off. Iran is a very large country. We cannot detect all of their missile cities underground or all of their ballistic missile launch platforms. So it's going to be still difficult. So Sam says Wall Street Journal capturing is not confirmed, but pilot in Iran are in Iran right now. Many U.S. planes flying very close to the surface in Iran right now. Okay, gotcha. So thank you for clarification there, Sam. Thank you. Okay, so that was, we misspoke there. There's no confirmation that the soldier has been kidnapped or captured by the Iranians, but it does seem like there is confirmation that there was an airplane shot down by the Iranians. Yeah, so still kind of a big deal there. David Moore says rich people don't pay taxes. They put money in trust or they borrow money. Magic says Pam Bondi and Marjorie Taylor Greene were always expendable. Trump does not give a crap about women. And B9B, where can that pilot hide? Yeah, I guess maybe the pilot was able to eject somewhere to safety or was able to get rescued quickly, but I don't know. Yeah, it's probably definitely in some kind of danger though. So let's hope it's all okay. Picture of ejected pilot seat released by Iranian media. Not sure if it's AI or not. Ah, bear. Yeah, man. I hear you there. Junior says, I hear the price of fuel will increase. And John Tripp says, it's a big deal. They were supposed to be invincible aircrafts. And Algerian Brother 46 says, hi, hello, Algerian Brother 46. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Happy to have you here. We are right outside of the United States Capitol. We're out here taking your questions, getting to know you guys. We're talking about Pam Bondi. We're talking about the war in Iran. A report from the Wall Street Journal, Sam has provided us some good breaking news coverage about a potentially a F-35 or a F-15E was shot down by the Iranians. The status of the pilot seems to be in doubt / uncertain. Yours is code. Magic says all you have to do is down F-35s is revert back to decades old tracking instead of advanced long range radar. Imagine someone told you buy 3-time leveraged crude oil at the beginning of the war, right? And then LOL John. Yuri is laughing, said, you think the dollar will crash? It's weakened severely in the last couple of years. I know the purchasing power has gone down, 20 or 25% since 2020 or 2021. I don't think it will crash, though. Not right now, at least. So it will take a while. And the thing is, I think we might be able to see it as well. There might be warning signs, but right now it's definitely not as strong as it was even a couple years ago. But it will still be the reserve currency. Love the suit, dude. Love the suit, man. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. Awesome, man. Yeah, dude. I got to dap you up. Dude, I love the purple backpack too. Fuck yeah, dude.
Taking pictures.
Yeah, I'm actually live streaming on YouTube right now, bro. Yeah, let's go, man.
What's up,
Yeah,
people? I'm
yeah.
from New York.
Got a New Yorker right here in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Rocking the purple, the lavender.
Yes, sir. It's Purple Friday, man. Yeah. So I'm from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just here for the weekend, just kind of hanging out, or?
Take pictures of the cherry blossoms.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you made it just in time, man.
I know, they were blooming, right? They're blooming already, right?
Awesome, dude.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm Aulden, by the way.
Swan, they call me
Aulden.
Swanee.
Nice to meet you, Swanee.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm an
pleasure,
artist.
man. Artist? Are you on YouTube at all, or?
I'm on Instagram.
Instagram? I'm on
Swanee 26 Art.
Swanee 26 Art. Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll type in my page name, and I'll follow you real quick. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it, man. Ooh, look at nice, man. That's gorgeous. Oh, okay. Cherry blossoms. Lovely.
Park, New York.
Central Park, New York. Awesome,
Where you
dude.
from?
I'm here in DC now, but originally from Indiana, though. There we go. Swanee, yeah. Lovely, dude. That's beautiful artwork, man. Yeah. Oh, but let's see.
I saw you from far away.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Rocking the purple.
Yeah, man, we're rocking the purple, man. How cool right now. I've never seen anyone else in a
Me
purple
neither.
suit before.
And I've already gotten compliments from the women down here.
There we go. Yeah, dude. Swanee's pulling the women, man. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, good meeting you.
Yeah,
man.
good meeting you too, man.
Pleasure.
Hey, here, let me get your Instagram real quick, bro.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, we just popped in with our first. Yeah, sorry about that. We on Instagram now, but yeah, that was pretty sick. Yeah, not going to lie there. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation, everybody. Yeah, we just met Swanee there. Pretty dope ass picture. Not going to lie at all. Okay. I was waiting for launching of the Pam Bondi show and probably an interview with Tucker where she may blame Israel. I don't think Bondi would do that. I think Bondi, she's entrenched within she's from Florida. Yeah, just look at where all of these members of the cabinet, like Marco Rubio, when he was a senator, he had the Israel flag outside of his office. Mike Waltz, he got in trouble because he was working with Netanyahu. That's why he was let go as national security advisor and moved to the UN ambassadorship. So Florida is filled with pro-Israeli people. So she's within the regime for sure. So yeah, I'd highly doubt if she ever went on Tucker's show to start blaming Zionism or Israel or stuff like that. Because she's pretty. I think one of her last acts as Attorney General was like trying to, sue for anti-Semitism or something. So, Bear says I was raking in 20 to 40,000 a month, depending on the well being known for maintenance. And then B9B says, I knew that was going to happen with Dala. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm for real going to have to clip that that little interaction with Swanee there. That was so cool, dude. Dude, I love the purple suits, man. Oh. Here, 1 sec. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, hey, everybody. So, I would just love to remind you, if you're new to the stream, new to the channel, please leave the video a like, hit that subscribe button as well. If you're enjoying what you're hearing and seeing so far today, we're out here right outside the U.S. Capitol taking your questions. We're going to be heading soon to the DOJ, where we'll be talking to, or maybe not talking there, but I'll be talking to you guys in front of the DOJ, where Pamela Bondi used to report for work. No longer. That's our main topic of the day, is that Pam Bondi is out in the Trump administration, and she will be no longer serving in the cabinet. The second high-profile departure in as many weeks. Colonel says, closet Vikings fan. He loves purple suit. Yeah, dude, I do have a Brett Favre jersey. I can't lie about that. I have an Adrian Peterson jersey and a Brett Favre jersey when Brett Favre was on the Vikings like 10 or 15 years ago or whatever now. Gosh, that's been a long time, bro. I'm aging a little bit. Yeah, so here, we're going to chill, take one last good little look at the U.S. Capitol from this angle. We're going to start heading towards the DOJ, which is this way. But I'll still be hanging out with you guys on the way over there. Golden Hope 11280 says a lot of emojis. mixed with Israeli flags, thumbs up, hearts, and USA flags. So 101 of you guys have voted in the poll right now, and 78% of you are glad that Pam Bondi met her career, her demise as Attorney General yesterday afternoon, and only 22% of you are feeling a little upset and sad about the news and information. So do you guys anticipate any action with Carg Island or a ground invasion this weekend, or a ground operation rather, potentially from Trump admin and company? It seems to be, because here's a couple of things, if you kind of read between the lines of what the president is saying here in the last couple of days, is he is talking about, we've defeated them, but we can't leave the conflict yet. They're not a threat anymore, but we still need to remain there 2 to 3 more weeks. Well, if they're not a threat and if the strategic objectives have been accomplished, then what's the point in remaining then? You know what I mean? So what I think he's trying to do is he's trying to, as we kind of talked about a couple minutes ago, some people were talking about like the price of oil going up, price of gasoline. And that's not because the United States rely on it. We don't rely on oil from the Strait of Hormuz in particular, but the other countries do, like other allies, Japan, India, South Korea. They get a lot of their oil from the Strait. And so if it's just simply less oil going out, you have Iran is linchpinning the Strait, then oil is just going to go up. The price of it's going to go up worldwide, right? Even though that our supply in the United States will relatively remain unchanged. I think he might be trying to signal saying we can leave, and the countries in Western Asia, they're the ones that are going to be hit the hardest, like Japan, South Korea, as you just mentioned. So maybe he's trying to get them to make commitments to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz, because he's basically saying, well, this isn't going to, he's trying to negotiate with this. He's trying to tell Japan, like, hey, we can leave, and you guys are the ones that are going to be hit hardest first, right? Because you get most of your oil through the Strait, and you're going to be the one to suffer immediately first. Yeah, we'll suffer with higher prices, but we can Trump's making the bet that we can outlast that longer than they could. And not only the higher prices, Japan, they still need energy, power buildings and other critical infrastructure as well. So he's trying to say, hey, you guys are going to be hurt a lot more. So maybe he's just trying to get some of these other countries, some of these other allies to help out a little bit. Same as the countries in the Middle East, right? If there's no economic activity through there, then that's going to hurt them as well. And Sam says many media channels saying it is F-15, not F-35. Video showing Iranians are firing small arms at U.S. aircraft, searching for the pilots. These guys don't have the defense system at all. And David Moore says, why is the port not opened if we won? Yeah, so the president, he's saying all of this stuff in hopes of keeping the market calm. That's his main play. when he says we won or we're giving Iran a period of time to capitulate with our demands about Strait of Hormuz, or we'll obliterate them. And then Monday morning, he'll say, oh, actually, we're giving them more time. It's all a show to relatively try to keep the markets calm. So that's just more of him. And that's another aspect of war, right? It's like words and messages, of course. So, yeah, when he like declares victory, he isn't really declaring victory. He's trying to declare victory for the markets or something. And Vernon says, my app keeps getting cut off. Huh. Not sure why. That happens to Dirty Money. Dirty Money is another community member on the channel, and he says his app will just crash with him. So I don't know what that is. I wonder if that's Mossad trying to screw up so we can't communicate, or trying to scramble all the signal on the channels. So yeah, that's just kind of me being a little silly, but might be true. Hormuz is open if it is the infrastructure companies in London backing down. So yeah, and as long as Iran can continually produce and launch ballistic missiles and drones, biggest one qualified people weren't for Trump. Clock says another day of your country losing another illegal war. And then Moose Knuckle says the Trump only hires his fart sniffers. The Chinese Communist Party propaganda is here. Iran can keep going and going and going. Hormuz ain't open. And Biggest says there's no difference between the people who want an evangelical king and the Taliban. Changed my mind. So hey everybody, just wanting to remind you, if you're enjoying the conversation and the live stream so far, please hit that subscribe button. Also leave the video a like as well. If you're enjoying the chat and the conversation, we host, as I've mentioned a few times, we host these discussions frequently. And right now we're heading to the DOJ to visit Pam Bondi's former workplace. Ooh, wow, there's something crazy going on up here. We see these tents pop up in DC every now and then. Whoa, is that guy okay? What's going on with him? He's like laying on the ground in the street. Oh, it looks like he's trying to fix the sewer or something. We'll go up and investigate, make sure he's doing okay. Bear asks a question. Who wants a king? Do the Democrats? According to some of their protests this weekend, you would think they're no kings, but you never know. You crossed an ocean just to find your grave. And then MH2731 says LOL. Oh, this porta potty, you can, I'm not sure if you can see it. There it is. Just Trump dump on it. Let's get back out to regular screen. There's no shortage of individuals like that in Washington, D.C., let's say. So 122 of you guys have voted in the poll thus far, and it's still about the same percentage as it was prior. 79% of you guys are glad that Pam Bondi is no longer in office, and about 21% of you guys are sad to see Pam Bondi go. So, yeah, surprised it's this lopsided of a decision, actually. Didn't think it would be that way. But maybe this is why she was tossed. It's that she lacked the Trump admin just started viewing her more and more as dead weight and not an asset anymore. Or at least as large and effective of an asset as they hoped or thought she once was, or that her future potential had ran out of time. That it was just time to cut losses and get going. We're out here walking. Oh, and MH2731 says she was an embarrassment. Got a lot of people feel that way, especially and now it's 80-20, so it's grown even a little more overwhelming against the former attorney general. Nurse Rod says his whole cabinet is an embarrassment. Name one that's a good job. And then JNSSMS says, do you just walk past homeless or houseless people in those glasses? When I'm walking around DC for the streams, there's a homeless population. Mm-hmm. So I generally am, or at least, so one cabinet member, I'd say I'm pretty satisfied, or like I'm happy with RFK. So I do like Maha. I was a swimmer in college. I also try to take health very seriously. A lot of the time, at least. So I like the intention that they're doing. Now, one can argue the execution is wrong. I think that's a totally fair observation. but I do like RFK though. MH7231 says, "Yep, yeah. Now we're like in the city, kind of. So when we're just around Capitol Hill, it's exclusively tourists. There's no really no businesses, restaurants, etc." Um, and says, "Pray for the pilot and that our forces rescue him." So absolutely, yeah, we gotta keep our fingers crossed. Our members of our armed forces are in our prayers and our thoughts on this channel. So wishing them only safety and prosperity, and hopefully everything turns out okay there. Penn's had a major boost in sales right before the No Kings protest. It's cool. I've never been to America. Definitely no public restrooms. Yeah, there's only a couple public bathrooms in DC, like by the Washington Monument. But man, they're not. You only use them in cases of emergency. They're pretty. A lot of them are nasty. There's also these people are in line for this throne bathroom or whatever. Haven't seen that before, but looks like people are just kind of, you can use like the toilet there. Interactive says Iranian flag heart with a bunch of ballistic missile emojis. Proper gray skies there. Yep. Yeah, it's another cloudy day, second cloudy day in a row. I got second place. David says I got second place in state in the 25-yard freestyle when I was 12 years old. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, man, I love swimming. I need to get back in the pool a little bit. Haven't swam much this year. Uh, couple of other of comments on the stream. How about that? So hey everybody, if you're just now joining the stream, enjoying the conversation, enjoying our discussion. We were talking about Iran a lot earlier in the stream. Our main topic of the episode, though, however, is about Pam Bondi, the now former Attorney General of the United States. And Sam says Jackson Hinkle is celebrating the news. These people are something else. Yeah, that guy's a traitor to the Okay, let's try that. Okay. So yeah, Sam, what was the last thing that you heard before I got cut off? If you guys can even hear me now. Okay, great, perfect. Yeah, sometimes. Okay, so, oh, gotcha. So, did you hear me call Jackson Hinkle a traitor? To the United States of America, that is. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, there's one thing to, like on this channel, we question the war, we question, like its legality, its benefit for the United States, but we would never, ever wish death or celebrate harm for our service members. Dude, good luck tomorrow. Beat UConn, dude. Yeah. So, all right, here it is, baby. The J. Edgar Hoover FBI building. We have made it. Pam Bondi's former workplace, no longer. So we're going to head towards so yeah, we're out here right outside the Pam Bondi's former workplace. We'll be hanging out here for a bit. We're going to cross the street, maybe head to this side of the street. I believe it's also the same building, just kind of connected. So we'll be taking your questions on this block. We're talking about Jackson Hinkle right now, a traitor, an absolute traitor. And he's taken, I think you mentioned this, Sam, a couple of streams ago, or maybe even yesterday, but he's taken pictures with like the leader of the Houthis. He's like doing a lot of very skeptical decisions. Shout out Tacoma Park, Jamie Raskin player. I think I kind of get, I have an idea of where you're getting at. Then Murder Depot Pod says, hi, hello, Murder. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the channel. Yes, he does PR for everyone else besides the United States. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Okay, so now we have reached the Justice Department, the Attorney General's former workplace. She was removed from office yesterday afternoon. And Jones says, over dramatic description of a path, LOL. Can you explain further? Okay, let me Mad Butter says,
why is that why? I wonder why. They'll say there's rain at BLM. There's rain. There's always the it's like go hard.
And EPAL says fighter jet shot down in Iran, 2 pilots. That's what That's what Sam has mentioned on the stream before as well. Yeah, Sam talked about the that pilot and the F. Um,
What purple is?
what's purple?
BTS, the Korean boys. BTS.
All right, let's go. Yeah,
The
you're on.
Korean boys, purple. Barahe. BTS.
That's why we walk around DC. You never know what you're going to kind of find out here, right? So I have no idea. Do you guys know what the hell she was talking about? Yeah, I have no idea what the hell that was at all. I had no idea what was she even talking? I don't even know what she said. The Korean boys, BTB something. David Moore says you should try walking around Chicago, Ella. One of these days, yeah, man. So once we get to 3,000 hours, once we get to our goal of 3,000 watch hours, and we're accelerating at that goal because every stream we do, we pick up more subscribers, and more of those subscribers turn into repeat viewers, and then after that, strong community members. So as long as we continue growing our channel, we will start. Once we get to 3,000, I unlock super chats, and we can start making a little bit of money for some travel here in the future. So that's our next goal. We're at 2250 as of this morning. So do people curse like that? Not all the, not usually, no. I think she may need, I don't think she's well. I'm not sure if she has a home or she may be down on her luck right now a little bit, maybe a little sick. BTS, no, we don't curse. Bear says, are you seeing my comments, bro, Chato? I saw Bear was their sales more than doubled. So probably the YouTube filter, the YouTube algorithm is, for whatever reason, is preventing them from coming on my screen, from being viewed on my screen. So sorry about that, man. Yeah, promise I'm not ignoring you. David says I might have to plan a trip to DC and hang out with you for a day. Awesome, man. Yeah, love my fans. There's a ton of great and fun stuff to do out here in DC. So yeah, there's never a shortage. Oh, just look how beautiful this is. So everybody, if you're just now joining the stream, please leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button as well. We eclipsed well over 700 subscribers a couple of days ago. We're now pushing towards attempting to get over 750, but really 1,000 is the next major goal. But right now, I'd say we're pushing also watch hours as well. So we need 3,000 watch hours to achieve super chats. 2,250 watch hours right now. So would love, after this stream, please, if you feel inclined, even at work, maybe like a little podcast, go to some of the other live streams, just kind of play some of the videos in the background, some good background music for you during your day at work. That will keep boosting the amount of time watched, and we'll hit that 3,000 hour goal very soon together. And also, please share this channel, share the videos with your friends, your coworkers, family members, anybody that you think would make a great community member on the channel, within the channel that want to have a little fun and become awoken themselves. So that's my ask for you guys. Would deeply appreciate that. I'm definitely always trying to, when I'm in real life, when I'm at bars, coffee shops, on the metro, when I'm flying, airports, wherever, I'm always trying to push, snag more subscribers as well. So even if you were able just to get your spouse or another relative to subscribe and watch some of the videos, that would be tremendous. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, and happy Friday, everybody. We are here in downtown Washington, D.C. We're here walking around, interacting with the community, talking to people, talking with you guys as well. A lot of fun stuff going on this Purple Friday, baby. So we got our purple on. We're all swagged out. We are ready to go. Now, I will say, just as the last comment that I see is from David Moore 7110. So I'm not sure if comments are not loading on my end, or if we're just all kind of and that's perfectly fine if we're all just hanging out. I just know Bear mentioned that maybe more of his comments were becoming filtered a little bit, right? So, and I can close the YouTube app real quick and refresh it if needed. But I think we're just chilling, man. I think we're it's a good sign. Also, I've kind of started. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Is that whether it's friends on Capitol Hill, the morning streams are now becoming like a little radio show for people. They'll plug it on, and they'll just kind of listen in the background when they're checking their email in the morning, when they're trying to get morning news and breaking news coverage, because that's what we do a lot of the times. We have a couple of main topics on the show, on every stream, that we discuss and provide some in-depth analysis on the ground here in Washington. So here, one sec. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, my comments just got stuck. I had to refresh the video real quick. I haven't been to DC since I was a kid. Hopefully you could show me some nice places. My comments were about the CCP, go figure. Yeah, man, their tentacles are everywhere. They're spread all over the place. Sun says, yes, her type of condition could be consequence of the MAGA Republican hair stance on free health care. Iran set a $60,000 bounty. What is the name of the monumental building behind you? I think this is still one of the FBI buildings, to my knowledge. The John A. Wilson building. That's where the John A. Wilson building. Loan says free healthcare. Do the doctors and nurses stop needing money? It's free. Colonel says today's mantra is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah, man, you know it. I'm having a lot of people. Dude, walk around in purple. You definitely get some comments there for sure. Oz says exactly no such thing as free health care. Plus, I live around a bunch of Democrats, so that doesn't help. Here without any problem. Mine won as well. Filter is brutal. Colonel says I listen at work. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with our progress on the channel, guys. This is it's a ton of fun. Just getting to know it, and be a part of like your guys' lives too. That you guys invite me in your daily lives. It's very touching and special. It kindles me joy. Son. And Z says, good morning. Good morning, Z. How are you doing, big man? Thank you for tuning in with us on this Purple Friday morning out here in Washington. We've been talking about Pam Bondi's firing from the Department of Justice. Also been talking about Sam has filled us in on a F-15 F-135 being shot down by the Iranians, and the Iranians hosting or posting a $60,000 bounty, according to somebody had it a few minutes ago, but some kind of financial bounty placed. So Sun Tusa says free media. What kind of free media? And asked to name the sources of that free media. Lone Wolf says, what does Washington, D.C. produce and makes it one of the richest cities in America? Good question. Corruption. No, for real. But actually, I believe 4 of the 5 wealthiest counties are Washington, D.C., like Arlington, Virginia. Yeah, like the counties right outside of Washington. Property, real estate here is insane. And Lone Wolf says, you rock. Thanks, brother. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ton of corruption here. No shortage of finding any of that here. So now we're kind of near the White House. We took a couple minutes at the FBI building, but now we're going to head. We've had a couple of people want to go to the White House on the stream before, so we haven't made it there yet, but we'll go ahead and head to the White House, see what Big Don is up to on this Purple Friday. You think Donald Trump has a purple suit? You know, if I become president, I'll wear the purple suit every Friday. And then Z says only 60,000. LOL. A bounty for what? Excuse me, my voice cracked. Yes, it is. So Sam provided us some information, and I think a couple other people have confirmed it as well, that there was a F-35 shot down by the Iranians so a couple hours ago or overnight, and the status, at least from Western media, the status of the pilot is uncertain. The Iranian state media is claiming that he had been kidnapped and that they have a bounty on an additional pilot or something to go along with this. So a scary, frightening situation right now. Skinny Tubbs says suit looks good. What's going on, Skinny? Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Happy to have you here. We're a couple minutes away from the White House, so we're going to be hanging out at the White House for a couple of minutes with you guys. Daniel Phipps says Jesus loves you. Pilot is down right now. Son says watching stats and what's going on today at ground level. And Sam confirms that the bounty news is 100% true. Let's go Nittany Lions, yeah! Anytime I see anybody wearing like a sports t-shirt now, just to get more social reps in, I'll just kind of be like, yeah, go team. So, yeah, man. Someone was asking about how do I meet more people earlier on in the stream, and yeah, man, you just got to talk, man. Humans were designed to be social creatures. We're designed to communicate with each other. Um, so, I mean, never be afraid to chit chat. Daniel Phipps, already read that comment. All right, so update on the poll. 149 of you guys have voted. 150 now, excuse me. 151. And
Oh, well, that's good.
81% of you guys say you're glad to see Pam Bondi go. And 19% of you guys are expressing disappointment in her firing or her departure from the Attorney General's office. So some pretty crazy stuff, right? Official KKA official says hi, hello. Thank you for joining the stream this morning, man. Glad to have you here. We are right near the White House. We're going to be heading to the White House any moment now. Ozzy Crosby says, son, we see it all. Stop blaming everyone else for problems that you cause. This is bounty $60,000 Russian rubles or pesos. Son, wow, that turned weird. And Timmy Turner says, the Big Bang is on it. You changed your, you did a little regime change for your profile photo. Nice, man. Oh, yeah. Not the same purple, but kind of close, kind of close. A similar purple, but no cigar for sure. Okay, Sam says, all right, bye, Aulden. I got to go. See you tomorrow. All right, big man. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. Have a wonderful Friday. Hope you have something fun, some fun plans this weekend. Amen. Hope you all have a wonderful day and wonderful weekend. We'll probably be with you guys sometime tomorrow. That's the plan, at least. It might be a shorter stream, but we'll still be able to get with you guys for a couple of minutes. Son, it says, Ozzy, how that turned weird, you guys making life of ours horrible. Then Ozzy says, double tap your screen to give this live a thumbs up. Thank you, Ozzy. I second that. Double tap that screen. Hit that subscribe button as well if you're enjoying the content. If you're enjoying hanging out with us here in Washington, D.C. It is Friday morning, just right before noon. Lots and lots of tourists out walking around today once again. So we're probably 3 minutes away from the White House now. Crazy that we started the stream at the U.S. Capitol. So we've probably gone a solid couple of miles now this morning. But that's what we're going to do for you guys. We're going to make sure you guys see the entire city, see as much as you can. So have you guys seen any reactions about Pam Bondi's firing in particular that have shocked you, maybe? Or maybe kind of made you think like, wow, what is, I didn't know this person felt this way about her or anything like that? Because from her statement, and we've talked about this a couple minutes ago, that Bondi was very loyal to the president. I don't know how much more loyal one can get in terms of being loyal to the president, and she still meets her demise one way or another. David Moore says, supposedly a lot of the files that were covered up were between the time or around the time of 9/11. Then Son asked Ozzy, "Where are you from?" And the Shadow Committee of 9/11. Sorry. What? Yeah. There's just a lot of people here right now. All right, we have arrived at the White House. So this is about as close as you can get right now because, so right over here, you have the East Wing project over here. And they closed, so you could used to get to the street about right here where that truck is. You see where that truck and that statue, that guy on the horse, you could get on that street and take pictures and spectate the area, take closer photographs. But now with the East Wing demolition, that has changed, and now this is the common area right here.
And as the day went on, we dropped LSD 3, 4, 5 tons a week, sometimes more. You say, well, what? If you're taking LSD 3, 4, 5 times a week and smoking dope every day, how in the world did you ever maintain any presence in class? The answer is we didn't. It was much more fun to sit up in a tree and smoke dope than it was to go to class. And so we just didn't go. As a matter of fact, I brought a copy of my yearbook, of the yearbook from Chapel Hill that year, 1969.
You got a couple of comments here. Ozzy says from Massachusetts. Son says, or David Moore says someone had to take the call and it wasn't going to be him. Ozzy says, Son, when the Department of Education was created in 1979, the U.S. ranked number 1 in education. Today, now we rank 24th or 25th, all by design. We can improve, but your regime will always keep messing with these things. Lone Wolf says, loyalty has nothing to do with the results you produce from your labor. She has no one to blame but herself. And Z adds, why is he talking about LSD? What is bro yapping about? So this lady's, there's this lady's like little recording or speaker.
But that was life in Chapel Hill.
He's talking about Chapel Hill.
I'm not telling you this because I'm proud of those days and proud of my lifestyle. I'm telling you this because I want you to get a sense of who I was at age 21 when Jesus Christ reached down and grabbed a hold of my life.
It's a message. It seems to be, at the beginning, it seemed to be this person that's talking on the speaker, or on the, the speaker was troubled, smoking LSD, and then I believe he met Jesus Christ and turned his life around. I believe that's probably what's going on with that little recording there. Faraz says hello. What's going on, Faraz, man? Hey, man, we're here. I think you've asked, we go to the White House before, and you caught us at the right time. I'll try to get you the best picture we can of the White House for you. So you got this little statue in the way, but you can kind of see the Washington Monument right there, and then you got the White House there. Might be able to get a little... Yeah, here's even a little better view. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, baby. Right outside the White House. Can I know your opinion on Christian nationalism? So one thing in my life that I need to, that I desire at least, is to be more of a regular church attender, churchgoer. I believe in Jesus Christ, but my knowledge on theology is not where I prefer it to be. So I don't really have a stance on the Christian nationalism movement because I don't know everything it's promoting. Like other than, I'm sure, Christianity, right? Obviously, but I just don't know enough to have a strong answer. But we'll get there here soon. Faraz says, by the way, have you seen the movie Argo? Have not. No, not yet. And David Moore says, I gotta go. I have to make up an excuse why I'm not at the condo today. All right, brother. Yeah, man. Think of something good, man. Don't get caught. We can't be caught out here. No. Yeah, we're here. Nothing really crazy going on in front of the White House here today. There used to be more of a the White House used to be more lit, but then when they closed the that street for the East Wing to demolish the East Wing, then it really hasn't been as poppin'. Let's just say that. We got Donald Trump right here. Hey guys, it's Donald Trump. I'm not even playing. Look. We got Donald John Trump, President Trump right here, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. That's pretty funny, isn't it? Yeah. Imagine if the back of his head looked like that. Just how gross. That's like gross old man hair right there. But it's just a costume ultimately as well, so. Spartacus says, Trump, is that Trump sign? Then Sayed says F Donald Trump, and Spartacus says F Trump scene. Z says the virtue signaling from the White House is gross. Like the press secretary asking, did you hear our amen, and saying that the country was founded on Judeo-Christian ideas. I did see that. Yeah, that was the messaging from the White House, they're just their hands are tied right now. They have nowhere to go. And yeah, they're just in a very impossible position to wiggle out from, I think, when it comes to all this stuff. It's just like, I'm sure you guys probably saw this, but around Christmas, a couple weeks before Christmas, you have Mark Levin visit the White House. There was like the Hanukkah dinner or the the Jewish dinner or whatever it was, and you see Mark Levin hand around Trump, manhandles him and says, I came on this stage 6 years ago and said that you were the first Jewish president, and now today I can say you're the what did he say? You're the best Jewish president ever, or you're the best friend Israel has ever had. Like, yeah, dude, I wish more people could say that he was the best friend America ever had. But that's that. That happened a few months ago. And Z adds, they're trying to win over Christian support, but conflating it with Judeo-Christian is a mistake, in my opinion. Yeah, they're trying. And that, I think that kind of goes to show maybe some of the split within it. You have evangelicals and you have like dispensationalists, and then you have the Catholics, right? Everyone kind of has a little bit of a different view on it, and they're trying to try to have it always around. And then I saw that too. Apparently, Trump converted to Judaism. He's. I heard that too. I think we've got a lot of the objectives and a lot of the events going on at the White House handled. So we're going to head to the National Mall next. That's kind of the next. Probably won't head all the way to Lincoln. That would be a little far, but we'll probably head to the Washington Monument here. Lone Wolf says, true, it's Christian values, period. Has anyone ever heard of the petrodollar? Genuinely curious. Yes, I've done a lot of research in like Middle East proper and the Middle Eastern countries. And yeah, petrodollar is pretty, having the petrodollar remain traded under mainly the U.S. dollar gives us significant global leverage and authority when it comes to that. Tony says, hey, everyone, I'm glad she's gone. She can't protect her rich clients. Yeah, it's 81% of you guys are glad that she's no longer.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
Is that what Israel wants, or does that accidentally happen by doing what Israel wants only? Can you clarify your question a little bit? I'm just kind of confused a little bit. Sorry. Like, does Israel want the petrodollar? Thanks, dog. Appreciate you.
On my phone because I don't have access.
Did you win your election? Were you unopposed? Yeah, I won my election.
So you have to.
Yeah, I got elected Tuesday night, so thrilled to announce that. Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned that Wednesday for a moment, but gosh, it was either Wednesday or Thursday morning. There were a lot of new people on. Like yesterday was almost exclusively like brand new people that I had never seen before. Yeah, yesterday was a different stream, but it was still fun though. Got some good little funny moments out of that. And Tony says, yeah, thank you, man. Okay, everybody. So just want to do a little reminder. So if you're on the stream and join the stream, please hit that subscribe button, leave the video a like, and as well, feel free to join the Discord. Z helped, or I shouldn't say help, he created, single-handedly helped create the Discord for the channel. We got, there's four of us in there now, so it's starting to populate a little bit. Trossway, E9K, and Z and myself, we're in there hanging out, thinking of episode topics, ideas, poll questions. So if you want to be behind the scenes helping out, you'll definitely want to join the Discord. And you'll hear breaking news from myself and the channel as well, because when I was elected Tuesday night, I was able to share that in the Discord, and people that only are on the YouTube page weren't able to hear that until Wednesday or Thursday. So, we're at 17th and Pennsylvania. Like, we're right by the White House still. We're kind of near, I think we're near McPherson Square though. I believe so. Oh, okay. Now I get the question a little bit better. Thank you. You know, there's a lot of people are thinking, are kind of thinking that. I think it definitely, it benefits Israel disproportionately more, is what I think a lot of people have where they kind of have their gripes a little bit with it, is that there is a legitimate position and opposition to the nuclear program of Iran's nuclear program. But other than that, they really can't pose a threat to the United States. Because if they can't, and now there is a threat in the sense that if all of their ballistic missiles are pointed at UAE and Saudi Arabia, Israel, Kuwait, Qatar, the Gulf nations, that if their energy markets get disrupted, that hurts like all of these AI data centers in the United States, and hurts the economy, right? If some of these Gulf nations are struggling to like make trade through the Strait of Hormuz, that will come back and bite us as well. But I'm in the camp that I don't think we should be doing this though. That's my personal opinion though. So I'm against the war, but I know some people are in support of it. I was near there last week. Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome, dude. And then he says, did you see where Israel struck Iran's negotiator, the one that was setting up talks between Vance and the regime? I did see that. I think the guy's still alive. I think he lived. But I saw his wife died, though. So now your wife's dead. I'm sure you're not going to be in a mood to talk necessarily. And I do think that's a fair point, that Israel, they definitely do not want this to end anytime soon. Because Israel, back to my point about Israel being the main benefactor, or compoundingly, they benefit at such a greater rate, disproportionately than the United States, is that they want Iran's regime gone. They want more regime targets bombed and killed. They don't want this current regime to even exist, even if they don't have the nuclear program or even the ballistic missile program or whatever, because they're just never going to be able to work together. So, and as long as Iran poses a threat to Israel, that means Israel cannot gain regional hegemony and control the Middle East more or less. So that's the jackpot is what they're playing for. Israel, they're playing for regional hegemony in the Middle East. Yeah. So they're definitely going to do all they can to keep us, and you've seen over the last several years how they've slowly sucked us into this. At first, it's just, hey, President of the United States, leave the Iran nuclear deal. Then the next ask is make the Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. Then the ask after that is bomb Qasem Soleimani, kill him. Then the next ask is bomb the Houthis or put sanctions on Iran's economy. There's always something. You kind of see what I mean? It's always, I've compared it to today after work. Some people on the stream, you're going to get invited out by a buddy just for one drink at your local pub. And we know what that means. You get one drink at your local pub, and then you're in someone's kitchen at 3 a.m. screaming Led Zeppelin or Creed. That's what happened with this conflict. You had one drink, and man, that feels good. Leave the Iran nuclear deal, man, that feels amazing. The second drink, let's make the Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. Third drink, let's bomb Qasem Soleimani. And by the time we bombed their nuclear facilities last June, we were too drunk and lost the ability to drive. They took the keys away. We were sucked in at that point. By directly attacking Iran last June, there was no way out. So what's happening right now has just been building from at least last June, but really 2018, when we left the Iran nuclear deal. That's my take. Yeah. And that give a mouse a cookie, give a regime change to Israel. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all, and even let's say Iran, they're able this time, if they're able to hold on to the Strait of Hormuz, or they're able to continue their missile production capabilities, or if they can continue producing drones, the U.S. might be like, okay, let's conquer Karg Island and let's call that a day. Let's go back, a tactical retreat almost, or a tactical withdrawal. Let's wait another 9 to 12 months and let's try again in a year. That's basically what it's going to be until we get the regime change. Because why the hell would the Iranians ever desire to negotiate? Thank you very much. Why would they ever want to negotiate with the United States ever again? We've killed Soleimani. We've killed the supreme leader. We've killed so many other regime figures and targets. It makes no sense for the Iranians to ever, unless if they get concessions that, hey, we'll reopen the Strait of Hormuz if you never return, or you need to let us have a nuclear program or something of that nature. The Iranians, they have no reason to end this conflict right now. There's a lot of people around. Okay, why do people care more about the Middle East than America? Who cares about Israel or the Middle East? What does America gain or what does America lose, and why does that matter or not matter? All I hear is Israel, 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 Israel. It's a good question, and I think the people care about it so much is because we're always fighting wars over there, with off of false pretenses, and when, especially in this administration, we were explicitly promised that something like this would not happen. Trump became popular a decade ago because of his vocal opposition and criticism of the Iraq War. And now here we are again a decade after that. The movement has been around a decade, and now the MAGA movement is cheering a regime change war in Iran. So I think that's the big problem with why people are pay attention to the Middle East. It's because we were promised that that's not happening at all right now. Barely, we're going to, by the end of the 4 years, we'll be lucky if 1 million illegals get deported after 4 years, I'd say, because it's basically done now. After the Minneapolis stuff in January, mass deportations, they're over. They're not going to happen. There's still no border wall. Still, yeah, that's been a decade. That still isn't around. We were promised all of this stuff about closing the Department of Education. That has not been shut down, not even the status update on that project. You can go all over the board, and all of these promises that were made are being put second or not even worked on at all. And when a regime change war in Iran is being put first. And it's just a betrayal. Yeah, it's an absolute betrayal. No one voted. Who remembers voting in 2024, going to the poll and then after voting, screaming at the top of your lungs, I can't wait for a regime change war in Iran. Let's go to war in Iran. Yeah, and you're screaming, your veins are popping. Nobody voted for this. Nobody wants this. We wanted mass deportations. We wanted tariffs. We wanted all of this stuff that hasn't panned out. So that's a long answer to your question. Try to answer it analytically as best as I could. Surah says hi. Hello, Surah. Thank you for joining the stream. Tony says, I blame evangelicals and organizations such as Newsmax. Lone Wolf says, in reality, Israel warned for us to not go into Iraq. That is verifiably true. Tony says, that's bull. Lone Wolf people like Netanyahu told us it would be a good idea for the region. Toppins says, all the MAGAs you did vote for this. Then Ryo says Pam Bondi should be put in prison, be put in prison and not fired. And Lone Wolf says that is verifiably false. I already produced the fact that they didn't. What sources do you have? My facts are false. I'll let Tony speak for himself, but something I do remember is a congressional hearing. I think it's a congressional hearing at least. Seems to be 20 or 25 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago, that Netanyahu said during that hearing that he'd love to see regime change in Iraq and Iran. Um, Now, maybe there was another time that they urged us not to invade, but I do remember that hearing in particular. At 3 says Trump still has a 40% approval. He's fine. Tony says my proof is Netanyahu said that from his own mouth in '02 and '03. Mike says Pam Bondi got fired, question mark. Yeah, she was fired yesterday afternoon. Probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So hey guys, we are at the Washington Monument now. We've been walking all around Washington, D.C. this morning for a long Friday morning stream for you guys. Just here we're talking about the regime change war in Iran. We're talking about regime change war in Iraq, what Benjamin Netanyahu said or didn't say. We're talking about Pam Bondi as well, the former Attorney General of the United States. So, CWAG says, ooh, the Capitol. Yeah, we're here at the Washington Monument. We were at the Capitol building earlier this morning. We'll head back there by the end of the stream. But we're going to be hanging out at the Washington Monument for a little bit today. We'll be hanging out with you guys, taking your questions, thinking what you guys have to say. I think DC Capitol will be for practical reasons. Are you from Kansas yourself, or do you have a affinity with the state, or maybe just like good in the middle of the country? CWAG, a couple of H's. Z says, Lone Wolf BB actively pushed for the invasion of Iraq, even claiming Saddam had nuclear weapons. CWAG says, why don't you go look it up? Z asks, what's your nationality? Lone Wolf says, would you like 4, 5, 6, or 7 more sources? Lone Wolf says, does my sources not match with the anti-Israel message? Biggest says, Pam Bondi still has to testify, and there'll probably be no pardon for her afterwards. That's true. Yeah, I think that's very true, Biggest. I think I can't remember when that is, but I think it's in the next couple of weeks. And as of now, she's still going to have to testify. So, at least as of right now, who knows if they'll vote to let her go or walk, or maybe they'll bring on the interim attorney general maybe instead in place of her. Who knows? But at least as of right now, absolutely, man. Good point. Everybody, just a little reminder, if you're new to the stream, enjoying the show so far and the content, please hit that subscribe button, leave the video a like. We ascended over 700 subscribers 2 days ago, and we're pushing, elevating and pushing up higher and higher. Let's go Huskies, go UConn, so glad you got to beat Duke. Yeah. Yeah, we're hanging out here in Washington, D.C., the city actually where UConn had their walk-off three-point shot against the Duke Blue Devils last weekend. Pretty exciting basketball game. So would love if you guys hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We're out here hanging out with you guys for another episode of We should do it. Um, We should call this series of the show like Awoken with Aulden or something. I don't know. We'll get creative. We'll think of something here. Because we have Awoken Wednesdays, Purple Fridays. We have a couple little series already. So, but yeah, happy to hang out with you guys here. Z says, you realize the Talmud is a collection of rabbis arguing back and forth with each other, right? CWAG had liked a couple, or stated a couple of statements in the Talmud. Fire alarm going off somewhere. All right, 191 of you guys have voted in the poll so far now, and 82% of you guys say you're glad that Pam Bondi has been fired as Attorney General of the United States. Oh wow, there's a fire and the fire alarm's going off in the Washington Monument. Holy shit.
You have tickets? No, yeah.
Seems to be fire alarm is my guess, but there's no real urgency to, there's no real urgency, so it might be something different.
Right here, I think.
I'm good, man. Thanks. If you're ever in a major city or DC, never accept any of those beads, those little bead bracelets or wristbands or whatever. It's a big scam. Lots of people out in DC today, a large contingency of tourists, people out walking around. We're out here walking around with you guys on this Friday morning episode. Main topic today, we're talking about Pam Bondi. Also, we've been talking a little bit about the Middle East as well.
I'll put you down this second.
We're going to be heading back towards the Capitol now, because that's closer to my work. Got ahead of work for a little bit today. Pretty much pulled a double yesterday, so I wouldn't have to, so I could stream a little bit longer this morning. So I still get plenty Plenty of time, baby. Regime survival. Gotta make that money somehow, though. But also, the longer I stream, the more I'm able to accumulate watch hours, meet more of you guys as well. So, if you guys were with us last Saturday, there was that major kite festival. The kite, and looks like still kite stuck, but I can tell appears to be Minnie Mouse. Minnie Mouse is stuck in the tree over there. And there's a couple, looks like there's a squid, little like blue squid looking thing over here. A couple in these trees over here as well. So that's going to be the reality for some of these trees the next couple of weekends here. So a gorgeous, if there was a little sun, they would be about perfect, but there's a nice little breeze out here in DC. And it's probably about 60 degrees, so we're chilling big time here. So hey everybody, if you're new to the stream, first time on the show, would love if you left the video a like, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button as well as subscribe to the channel. We are eclipsed over 700 subscribers 2 days ago, and we are pushing higher and higher each and every day, brick by brick, patriot by patriot, and interaction by interaction, baby. So we're hitting there. We're nearing our 3,000 watch hour goal as well. We're at 2250 as of this morning, and it takes 5 days to update. So none of the hours that we have accumulated this week thus far have materialized into the count. So we're probably closer to 2,600 is my guess. Let's see here. "2026 says Bondi made a fool of herself for Trump before Congress, and even that wasn't enough for him." Yeah, she looked, I think that was her, when Christine made the tweet about like the domestic terrorist thing. I think that was the thing that probably sealed the Bondi with the Dow is above 50,000 or whatever. It got to a point where Bondi was becoming a liability for the admin, was unable to really produce some results as well. I think the base was also upset with Pam Bondi, so I think that was another reason why she got the axe as well. She became expendable for the admin. Let's see a couple of comments here. And Beta says, "Are they briefing Trump on the fighter jet being shot down or just soothing him with boom boom TikToks? Good question. I'm not sure yet. We will probably at this point, they've told him, unless if he's been on stage for several hours at an event, they've definitely probably briefed him at this point, is my guess. Like if they haven't yet, then that's a major problem. So. And Beta says, unconfirmed, hope it's not true. Iran says it struck a U.S. helicopter on search and rescue mission for the downed fighter pilot and jet. John Tripp says, turns out judges don't like cases without evidence. This is a right-wing channel, not a necessarily a pro-MAGA channel, dude. Have you not listened to any of the analysis about the Iran war for the past 30 minutes? Like, dude, go to my shorts feed and see who, like, I post on my shorts feed. Well, you're entitled to your opinion, but we disagree. And Colin Small says, hi, hello, Colin. Hope you're doing well, big man. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Any fun weekend plans, man? Or any questions for the chat? We're here mostly debating about Iran and the Middle East. We're also talking about Pam Bondi as well, the former Attorney General of the United States. Her last day in office was yesterday. 203 of you guys have voted in the poll so far, and 82% of you guys are glad to see Pam Bondi removed and fired from the Justice Department. So a large majority. And only 18% of you guys are sad about that revelation. Yeah, good call. That guy was starting to kind of be really, really annoying. Some random guy speaks says, looking very clean cut. Go Mag. Thank you, brother. Yeah, hope you're having a wonderful day, big man. Happy Friday, happy Purple Friday. We're out here walking around the National Mall, taking your guys' questions today. If you're enjoying the stream, please leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button if you're new and enjoying the dialogue as well. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Are you from the United States? Rodney says, I was just going to ask, is that the National Mall? You know it, sir. Yep, we're here on the National Mall. Now, we've been walking around for, I think, a little over coming up on 2.5 hours. We started at the U.S. Capitol this morning, and now we walked to the FBI building to see Pam Bondi's former workplace. Then we walked to the White House a little bit as well. We hung out at the White House for a period of time. And now we're out walking around the National Mall, taking your guys' questions, hanging out with you guys. Just cool. And yes, I'm in Detroit, Michigan. Awesome. I have a relative that moved there recently. He's like a suburb technically, but I visited him there a couple of times and got to say I am a fan. I think it's a pretty fun little city. The People Mover is also kind of cute to ride around on. Bro, what do you think of the jet down in Iran? Yeah, I think it's a little concerning. Absolutely. Like, especially Friday nights is the night that we see the president of the United States. He'll often make his moves on the weekend after the market is closed. And this probably has to, well, at least be in the back of his mind. He's still in his decision-making process of that, or maybe they'll have to tweak a couple of things as well when it comes to maybe a hypothetical operation. So a lot of stuff going on. But it's definitely concerning. Yeah, I hope our troops are safe and okay, and that nobody died, and it's just they got shot down, but they were able to eject safely and get out of there safely and all that stuff. So but scary, frightening for sure, especially with maybe things escalating here soon. Very good question. Very good question. Thank you for joining the stream today, big man. Okay. Here, I'm gonna refresh just 1 sec. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Sometimes it's been a little weird today with the comments, so. Did you see that Eagle Eye video I posted? Curious what you think about the tech. If you, I'll go look in the Discord here once we wrap up the stream. So I was actually at work until 3:30 in the morning this morning. So I wasn't on my phone a whole lot yesterday. And basically what I did, I woke up this morning and got ready and just kind of immediately started streaming. So once I'm back and sat down, I'll be able to check my phone and all that stuff. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, maybe I did see, I just can't remember. Shit. Sweet. Thanks, brother. Oh, man. Gladiator says, respectfully, And E4CE1 Sierra says, bro, which company do you work for? I work for in the private sector here in politics. We just had a lot of stuff we needed to do yesterday, and we're pretty committed at our work, and we are compensated fairly though. So I'm not slaving away for nothing at 3 a.m. Yeah, Gladys, that's the first. So when you respectfully was the first message I saw from you. So if you could please, like, maybe type a number instead of a letter when you try again, maybe, because YouTube, sometimes it will allow the most explicit word to go through the chat, and then other times it will totally crumble and not allow anything. So I used to be in policy. So I used to work for a U.S. senator from Indiana, the state of Indiana. I used to work for a U.S. senator, and I was in policy crafting, policy making, and design a couple of years ago. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But no, it's not policy making right now. Maybe one day again, maybe one day I'm the member. Maybe the Awoken community, we grow this channel so large one day that it's a very strong and effective method to help like get our ideas across as well. Is we are pretty unified on the channel about what we believe in. Gladiator says, that's crazy. It happens a lot to me for no reason. Yeah, and some people, it's a different problem that they have, but some people, they have their messages, or they will consistently get kicked out of the stream. Like the YouTube app will crash, or it will remove them from the stream. So there's a couple of bugs going on here, but maybe yours isn't. Maybe it's just like targeting you for some odd reason. Hey, we're approaching the Capitol once again. We're getting close again. I just got a notification from CNN, and it said that the United States has rescued one of the 2 pilots involved in that crash, or in that downed aircraft in Iran. Not sure if you guys have seen that as well. It has, Z, yeah. And even when you were going back and forth with that one guy, like the F word and like some other language was slipped through the cracks there. Which I was like, damn, that's bass though. You were going at that guy's throats. Yeah, you were at him, man. Yeah, I was like, damn. We got like an ultimate frisbee game going on here. One of the more exciting parts I would say about living in DC is I've played before? Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite games on the National Mall. Give me a day in May, June, July when the weather is at its best. Man, we'll have a live stream at like spike ball tournaments or spike ball games or something because that's how like much I love playing the game. And it could be a fun little subplot for the channel as well, because I know what happens with a lot of streamers, they have their niche, right? Like obviously politics for myself and current events, Middle East politics. But a lot of these streamers will have a secondary kind of subject area from what I can tell, whether it's video game streaming or whatever. And it's like creates a second path, a second channel of an audience for them. Maybe mine could be spikeball or athletics. Hell, I was a D1 swimmer after all, so I think I still got it. At least I hope I still got it. So I'm not that old, but man, you do age quickly though.
Whatever.
Yeah. There we go. We're back. Yeah, we had some problems with the signal on Saturday as well. This is actually the exact same location where the No Kings protest. It was like this plot of land on the mall. And it was, now last time, maybe it's because that kite festival was going on and there were thousands, maybe even 10,000 people flying kites on the mall. So maybe that clog jammed up a lot of the signal, or maybe it was just a lot of people at the protest, one of the two. And it really just caused a big, big problem there. So Beta says the states always fights with the smaller power. That was going to happen. Yeah, my bad, Rodney. Yep. Nope, you're good, man. It's probably my end. But we're exiting the mall now. We'll be heading back. See, that's how far already the U.S. Cap or the Washington Monument is. And the White House is like more kind of that way. So yeah, hopefully if you guys have watched a couple of these now, you're starting to get like a little on the ground picture of the geographical coordinates of some of these locations. And maybe getting, oh, excuse me, goodness gracious, maybe understanding the layout of the city a little bit better as well. Rodney says, I just found you 20 minutes ago, so I'm just listening and learning for now. Awesome, dude. Yeah, glad you stuck around for a little bit. Happy to have you here, man. Are you from the U.S. yourself, or yeah? Good breaking news. One of two pilots rescued, CBS. Awesome. Yeah, I got a CNN push notification from CNN a couple of minutes ago, and yeah, that's exciting news to hear. And Rodney is from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Awesome, bro. Yeah, so actually, dude, are the Jaguars permanently leaving Jacksonville for Orlando? Or is that just like a 1-year thing? Because it's I didn't really read into it, but it sounds like they're gone from Jacksonville forever after this like upcoming season. But I'm not totally sure. Yeah, thank you for the update, Sam. Appreciate that, big man. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah, it helps. Because at least as of right now, I'm streaming on my cell phone alone. And I can't really leave the YouTube. I can't really ever get off of this stream, or it will cut off. It will make you guys lose connection. Thus, I have to remain on the screen. So I get push notifications and whatever you guys, that's pretty much what I get. So it helps when you guys have updates. And overall opposites, ask a couple of questions. Are you a successful and important person? Are you important executive of some sociopathic corporation? I am a successful and important person, but not, I don't work for a sociopathic corporation or organization. So good question, though. Okay. And Rodney says, unsure about the sports question. No worries, big man. I haven't paid as much of attention to sports in the last little bit either. I've been really putting time into the show, so. Okay, local news says temporary. Gotcha. Maybe Jacksonville is, you guys are maybe building a new stadium, maybe. Kind of like the Commanders out here in Washington, D.C. For April Fools, I fooled my entire family saying the Commanders would go back to the Redskins, though they all believed it. But the Commanders, they're building a new stadium right where the old RFK Stadium used to be here in Washington, kind of northeast. And man, they're going to turn that neighborhood into what the neighborhood of Navy Yard is now. They're going to totally go in and put in these luxury apartments, put in all these chain restaurants, bars, make everything really super expensive. So good question. And a question from Andre Chang, -9YX says, is your manager really cool / badass? I can second. Yeah, I agree. Yes, he is really cool and a badass. Very thankful for him. He's very flexible with my. Ooh, almost fell. Very flexible with my work hours time. That's why I said, yeah, 3:30 a.m. is not the ideal time to leave work every night, but sometimes he's very kind and gracious with my streaming hours, and I'll just make up the work at oddball hours. So it's a win-win situation for both of us. So I'm very thankful for my manager at work. Good question, Andre. Beta says, do you think Democratic voters or people earn more money due to funding? Not in particular. Nothing that would stand out. Rodney says local politicians are adamant that it is a temporary move to Orlando, but you know how that goes. Yeah, man, maybe Sadiq Khan, they give him a really good deal, and he never looks back to Duval County. Goes down to, he could go walk around Disney World with Lindsey Graham after the Jaguars win the Super Bowl. He could invite Lindsey Graham back down to Disney World. And man, that photo of Lindsey Graham in Disney World, it's almost like out of all the, you're on Easter recess and that's your choice of location to go visit on vacation. Like I get, yeah, it's fun. I'm sure up to a point, but
At least a month.
and then $1.4 million in rent. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, they were going to renovate that stadium down there in Jacksonville. Gotcha. Makes sense. Beta says, what do you think of Trump casting his own ballot by mail? Yeah, pretty, yeah, it's kind of funny how they just do that, right? I think most all of the elected members vote by mail. Irishman 22695. We are in Washington, D.C., actually. We're here right in front of the United States House of Representatives. And I'll get you a good view of the U.S. Capitol building here in just a moment. Which country are you from, big man? All right, here we are. The U.S. Capitol building here in Washington, D.C. I agree, Z. Yeah, Lindsey Graham, no idea. It's almost like he, just doesn't really care either. Like he's a traitor. He totally betrayed his voters and people in South Carolina. He only cares about Israel. That's all. He just, yeah, man. There's always internet troubles when you're talking about traitors to the United States. Always pretty funny. Beta asked, why is he so pro-Israel? Money, corruption, not having any core beliefs himself. Just kind of being there. Like a vampire. That dude loves war. He sees on war. That's why he went to Disney World, dude. He's celebrating. It's like after the Super Bowl, you know how they always ask the quarterback or the MVP of the winning team on the Super Bowl, where are you going to celebrate? And they say Disney World. And then the next day you see them, they're on the parade, the float with Mickey Mouse with their kids. They're wearing the Mickey ears. The wife is wearing the Minnie ears. Well, that's like Lindsey Graham. Like he got his war with Iran and he's at Disney World celebrating it. Beta says, I think they have some tape on him of him. Could be, yeah. Like, who knows, man? It's just, it's a sad, very sad thing to see. Would be surprised to listen what right-wing Jews think of Christianity. And I'm from India. That's a beautiful building. How are things going on in America, like protests against president? We covered one live a couple of weeks ago, or excuse me, not couple of days ago, and that was pretty exciting. Not that I was in support of the protest. It was just cool to talk to some people there, do some man on the street coverage. We were also so No Kings was that was 5-6 days ago, last Saturday, and then Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, I can't remember. The days are all kind of stacking up in my head. We were at the Supreme Court building, the Supreme Court of the United States, talking to protesters there about the president, the admin's push to remove protections, birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. And there were a handful of fellas out there voicing their concerns with the president, their dissatisfaction with his efforts. We did some man on the street coverage there. But those were both like very heavily left-wing protests, though. So that's the American left kind of fighting back, the liberals. So 234 of you guys have voted so far in the poll. 235, excuse me. And 83% of you guys say you're glad to see Pam Bondi fired. And 17% of you guys are sad. So a strong majority of anti Pam Bondi personnel within the stream today on this Purple Friday morning. Once again, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Awoken with Aulden. We're going to be wrapping up the stream here in the next probably 10 to 15 minutes. Very strong stream today. Happy that you guys were all here. Would just love to remind you, if you're new to the stream or new to the channel even, please leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more based DC political coverage here on the ground in Washington, DC. Just started this channel 3 to 4 months ago now. We're building something serious here. We stream most mornings during the week. We also have Awoken Wednesday on Wednesday nights. We have the more podcasty type episode. And on Tuesday nights, we usually have one as well. Just been busy last couple of Tuesdays. Usually we do 2 anchor shows a week. But yeah, had elections on Tuesday and had I can't even remember. Oh yeah, I came back from a wedding the Tuesday prior and needed to kind of regroup a little bit. Rodney says, is there too much outside influence in DC, of which being super PACs, lobbyists, etc.? Definitely. Because as we've seen, the money still kind of runs the show in the city ultimately at the end of the day. Yeah, it's still, man, it's tough. Like, let's say if you're in any district and your biggest donor or lobbying group threatens just to pull the plug, and that's like 60% of your money. Then like you're almost back, you're enslaved to the group or the donor, etc. And Gro Maloney says, well, I'd say, to answer the question, they still more or less run the show. For most of them, like you have people like Thomas Massey who are not really beholden to certain donors, super PACs, lobbying groups, and he's able to kind of make that a badge of honor for himself. And a couple of others will be able to do that from time to time. But if there's 535 members of Congress, maybe a dozen of them can be like that. And outside of that, they're mostly, they're shackled or they're bought out in one way or the other. Too much corporate interest in DC. Thoughts on Citizens United? I don't have a perfect polished answer on that yet, because there's definitely a problem with too much money, obviously, right? And especially if it is, or we know it is, but influencing the decisions and the votes of members of Congress rather than the constituency, that's a major problem. I'm just not sure what the solution is, I guess. What are your thoughts, though? Maybe pitch me your ideas on it. And then Servia says, how many of the American troops were deployed in Iran? Is that war really necessary at this moment? Do American people support the Iran-U.S. war? With the way the admin is just running like regime media tactics, it's just really tough to tell right now. I'd say more people are opposed to it than are in support of it, for sure. And is it necessary right now? On the campaign trail, it wasn't really necessary, but now it is, apparently. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Will we ever be able to get rid of the money influence? I don't know. We'd have to change something crazy. Maybe if there's a will, there's a way kind of deal, but I don't know immediately what the solution is to that. Oh, hey, what's going on? You doing all right? Yeah. But okay, well, all right, guys. Yeah. So we'll just like one last little reminder, if you're new to the live stream, new to the video, new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, leave the video a like. I am going to wrap things up here. I do have a head of work. I need to do a couple of things today. But would love to hear what you guys have to say. We might do an hour tomorrow morning. Maybe try to get a weekend audience crowd to see what's up. But I'm gonna get myself a white monster. My friends just got me. But all right, but yeah, that's all stream. One last thing before we end. 240 votes, 82% of you say you're glad that Pam Bondi got fired, and 17% of you are,
Like, comment, subscribe.
yeah,
Like, comment, subscribe.
yeah. Big dog's got to eat, man.
He's the man. Big
Heck
dog's
yeah.
gotta eat.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, rough. Woof, woof. All right, everybody. All right, much love. Happy Purple Friday. We'll catch you in the meantime. Please subscribe.